it's time to use the router. So our first step is going to be to turn on the switch. This should light up. Then we're going to come over here. Now we have a little bit of the screen is missing. The controller's been dropped, so we can't see all those pixels. So I'll try to talk you through what it's saying. It says all access home. You only have to do this the first time. Then you're going to hit OK. And you're going to notice that the router is going to move back to its home position. Now that it's home, we're going to make sure that our block is secured in here. So these pieces around the outside won't move, but you can use these two clamps to take your project in and out. So I've located that hole that I've drilled, and that's going to be the center. And now I need to line up the router bit with my center hole. We want to make sure that we have the correct router bit in before we start. I have installed the V-bit. That's one option. We have the 1/4" bit and the 1/8" bit, and you might have to change this between every pass. So we can use these wrenches. The big wrench goes down here. Can't do this with 2 hands. The small wrench goes up here, and we use these to loosen and put in the correct bit. Then we want to home the router. We'll get these out of the way. Move the router bit so that the router bit is directly on top of my origin or my 0, 0 button. To do that, I hold down the X and the Y buttons on here. Notice when I hold this up so you can see it. When I hold down the X button, the X axis moves. When I press and hold down the Y axis, the Y axis moves. And when I press and hold down the Z axis, the Z axis moves. Now that my router bit has been centered, I have to come back to the controller here and hit a couple buttons. I'm going to hit the XY and the Z0 button, and you'll notice that these numbers turn to 0. Now I can load and run my file by hitting the Run, Pause, Delete button. This says disk file. I know it's hard to read, but that's the one we want. We'll say OK. And we're going to use the 5 and the 1 to scroll through until we find our file. So mine is KSV-bit because I've got the V-bit installed. So now that I've gone KSV-bit, I'm going to hit the OK button, and then I'm going to hit that button again to start. And I would have my finger over here on the stop button, just in case something strange happens. But now this is going to start cutting out the Wyzetta on my project. The Wyzetta words just got cut out, so now I'm going to switch to the 1/8" bit using these two wrenches. Now that we've got it switched, we don't have to redo the XY0, but we do have to do the Z0. So what I like to do is I'll just hit I'll move it to a spot that I know I've got good lumber, and I'm going to use the Z- to come down. And now that that's right on top of my board, I'm going to hit the Z0. Don't hit the XY0, otherwise you're going to have to re-put this into the center. It already knows where XY0 is, but because we changed the bit, we need to hit the Z0. Then I can come back here and hit the Run, Pause, Delete button, load disk file again, scroll down until I find the next file. This would be the KS125 to 1/8" bit. Hit OK. Hit OK one more time. And now it's going to run the numbers. Now we just put in the 1/4" bit, and we need to re-zero out the Z axis. Remember, X and Y is good. It's Z that needs to get rehomed. Okay, that Z is now good. So I'm going to hit the Z0. Remember, don't hit the XY0. And we're going to come back up here, hit Run, Pause, Delete. On this step, we're going to cut the circle out on the clock. It's the most likely to have the board slip. So really pay attention to that stop button in case something weird happens. So Run, Pause, Delete. Load it from the disk file, and now I'm finding KS25. Hit OK. Get up here one more time. And I started it when it was touching the board, so it gave me a little cut there. But it should now.